But my friends, something that I have been predicting and hoping is underway, and that is the crack up of the Democrat Party. I'm not saying the crack up of the American left. I think they've already cracked up. I think they're already insane. But they are now in the process of taking the Democrat Party with them. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is taking names. She is now taking names of supposed moderates in the Democrat Party, and she is singling them out, and she is threatening them that if they ever vote with Republicans on anything, that she is personally going to go out and find primary opponents and rip them to shreds, and their careers are going to be over. Pelosi is also angry that there are a bunch of moderate Democrats voting with Republicans. You haven't heard about this because the media hasn't covered this, but I am going to tell you what all this is about in just a second. There are a lot of moderate Democrats, freshmen, who you don't hear about them because Ocasio-Cortez is soaking up all the oxygen, and the media wants to portray her as the prototype and typical brand new Democrat member, and of course the future Democrat Party. But there's a bunch of them that are not like her at all, and they come from districts that Donald Trump won, and they are not full-fledged, insane, lunatic leftists, and they're voting with Republicans on procedural bills. And it's a trick that the minority had. Not a trick. It's a provision in House rules that the majority, the minority in this case, the Republicans can engage in. So a number of these moderate Democrats are voting with Republicans, and it's got Cortez ticked off and it has Pelosi ticked off. Pelosi's out there demanding unity. Both of these women are threatening these moderate Democrats, but for different reasons. And we also have this Tlaib is embarrassing herself. This is what I don't think they realize. She is embarrassing herself with this whole racist gambit. If you watch MSNBC, you literally can conclude nothing but that they and the American left have gone totally insane. And I'll give you some examples. I don't want the audio. I'm just going to tell people what happened. Don't Cookie, don't bother tracking down any audio. I've got more audio that I can use today. The Cohen thing. They don't realize how that is going to backfire. Cohen is not persuading people. Cohen is not helping the Democrats. He's helping them with the media, but he's not helping them. He's not helping to persuade either Trump fans to abandon Trump, and he is not persuading Trump fans to oppose Trump. He's doing just the exact opposite. And now it's come out that he actually was shopping a book. The Daily Mail has the story. Cohen was shopping a book recently, and the manuscript does nothing but praise and laud Donald Trump as one of the greatest guys walking the planet. And it points out he's not a racist, and he's not this guy has stepped in it so big, and the Democrats, they're all in a gigantic sinkhole with Cohen leading the way down, but they don't know this yet. They're still feeling their oats. They're not the majority. They won the House. They think they are just kicking butt. They think they are on the way to getting Trump forced out of office before the 2020 elections. They have become, I think, literally blind to what they're doing and how it is perceived. Now, here's the thing that has Pelosi and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez all in a tizzy. For the past week or so, there has been a huge fight going on in the House over a new Democrat gun bill that would require mandatory background checks on everybody buying a gun. This is something that Democrats do when they find themselves back in power. They start trying to encroach on any aspect of guns in the Second Amendment they can. even if people buy, according to this new Democrat gun bill, even if you buy a gun from a family member, you will be required to undergo a mandatory background check. The hitch has been the Republicans wanted to add a provision requiring that ICE be notified if an illegal alien tries to buy a gun. And by the way, for the record, it is illegal for an illegal alien to buy a gun because they're illegal. So the Republicans have got a Democrat gun bill, and you can imagine how attempted punitive it is. So the Republicans wanted to add a provision that would require that if an illegal alien is discovered during a background check, that attempted purchase be reported to ICE. The Republicans pointed out the Democrats are giving special privilege to illegal aliens because the Democrats want to exempt them. The Democrats seem to care more about protecting illegal aliens than they care about gun control, which, of course, is true. The Democrats care more about illegal aliens than even climate change. The Democrats care more about promoting amnesty and the continued flow of illegal aliens across the border because that's their future. That's their permanent underclass. They need that. So in any case, here's the upshot. 26 Democrats in swing districts were shamed into voting for the Republican amendment. Oh, can you imagine the excrement storm that erupted from this? 26 Democrats in swing districts voted for the Republican amendment, which simply said that if an illegal alien is identified as illegal in a background check buying a gun, that ICE must be informed. This infuriated Pelosi. This infuriated Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Pelosi has since told the House Democrats that she will not allow any such defections in the future, and that she is going to demand that the party always vote as a solid bloc. The Democrat Party is a family. There are no defections. They will not be permitted. They will not be tolerated. Anybody that defects like this in the future is going to be essentially driven out of the Democrat caucus and the House of Representatives. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has gone even further. She is threatening to sick her activists, her protesters, her rabble-rousers on any Democrat who doesn't vote the way she wants them to vote. And she's taking names. And she is going to make a little list. The Washington Post has the story. House Democrats explode in recriminations as liberals lash out at moderates. Now, how did the Washington Post find out about this? This is not the kind of story we get in the drive-by media about Democrat disunity. It's not the kind of story we get in the drive-by media about problems in the Democrat caucus. So who do you think leaked this? Some people think that it was the moderate Democrats who leaked this to the Washington Post to show what they are dealing with in this rabid socialist leftist caucus. Remember who these people are. These are elected in moderate swing districts of the country. In many cases, these are districts Donald Trump won in 2016. Many of these districts have a lot of voters that don't want anything to happen to their guns, for example. But the hard left, the socialist caucus, Pelosi, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, they don't care about any of this. They are demanding that these people ignore the will of their voters. They are demanding that these moderates forget where they come from, where they came from, and throw in at all times with the House Democrat caucus. Now, what's going on here? Pelosi, of course, Cortez, they're upset that some members are finding their way to the middle on gun legislation. This is a tremendous insult instead of siding with these radical resistors. Nancy's upset with him, too, like Cortez is, but Nancy's different. She just wants the lockstep unity that she is famous for. That's how she defines her leadership. She defines her right to leadership by being able to keep everybody in line and make sure everybody in the Democrat caucus votes the way she wants. Cortez is about something entirely different. She doesn't run the House. Cortez is on total ideological programming here, and she is insisting that these people vote the way she demands. Otherwise, she's taking names, and she's going to give these names over to a bunch of rabble-rousing protesters and donors who are going to see to it all of these people get primaried. Mr. Snerdley just inquired if I've ever seen anything like this from the well, the House freshmen in 1994 were kind of feeling their oats, but they were the reason the Republicans won, and they had Mr. Newt, who was essentially one of them. So but they were a very active bunch. What happened to them was, many of those freshmen after 2 terms gave up. They couldn't beat the swamp. And they didn't have a goon squad. This is a goon squad. The Democrat Party goon squad is demanding total conformity and total unity and total misery. It is amazing the rampant misery and anger and unhappiness that permeates throughout the American left. Never happy, never excited, never even content. Look, I have to take a break. I'm up against it on time. But we will be back before you know it. Don't go away.
This is the big one. Rush.
Open Line Friday. Welcome back, folks. Whatever you want to talk about is fine. The phone number, 800-282-2882, and the email address, lrushbo@eibnet.us. So Joe Biden was out saying that Mike Pence is a great guy and a very nice guy. They dump it on him. He had to pull that back. He had to withdraw that. And now you've got Cortez out there taking names. And if you've heard the term Stalinist, and what the hell does that mean? Well, you're kind of watching it take place now here with the American left. Virtually everything they touch, they corrupt, from sports to Hollywood. Sex is becoming an ideological requirement with them. It's a mandate. Gender. Orientation, these things the left uses to define whether you are okay or not. Universities, everything is turned into a Stalinist indoctrination. If anybody wanders off the reservation, then they are targeted. And this is exactly what is happening with this Washington Post story and these 26 moderate Democrats who voted with Republicans simply to let ICE know that an illegal alien purchased a gun as part of a background check. It's illegal for an illegal alien to have a gun, to buy a gun. The left went absolutely nuts, and now Ocasio-Cortez is taking names. And I hope they keep this up. I hope they keep it up. I hope they keep it up in public. I hope they keep thinking that they are scoring big wins with it. Trump's going to end up being reelected with phenomenal numbers if they continue with everything that they're doing along these lines, because this is not where a majority of Americans are or want to go. Welcome back, my friends. Open Line Friday. Rush Limbaugh behind the Golden EIB network. So let's summarize here very quickly before we move on. We have Nancy Pelosi, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar, and Rashida Tlaib. And these are the Democrat women who are leading the Democrat Party into the 2020 elections. Nancy Pelosi is at war with moderate Democrats. And she is going to get them to heel if it's the last thing that she does. She is going to demand party unity. I want you to remember this. The next time you hear some lame Republican talking about the need to cross the aisle, the need to shake hands and show that we can cooperate with the Democrats and that we can make Washington work, I want you to remember who it is that really has no intention of that. They have no desire for that. There is no desire to work with Republicans. There's no desire to work or compromise or any of that. It's all smoke. It's all BS. These people are rigidly demanding total unity and fealty. And if they don't get it, Pelosi et al. Are going to destroy them. Their objective where Republicans is concerned is not to get along, not to cooperate. It's to just get the Republicans off the field. Their objective is to eliminate all opposition. I knew they were going to overstep. They've gone so far down, so deep into one lie after another. Russian collusion, Trump stole the election. They so long ago lost any solid footing in reality that they can't help but trip themselves up. And they're in the process of doing it. The only thing that masks that does not actually portray that, is the media is not media. The media is an adjunct of them. The media is totally on their side. The media legitimizes what they do. But more importantly, the media attempts to make it look like these people are the majority of thought. The media does what it can to make it look like these people do represent the vast majority of Americans. They're not even close. Do not doubt me. And the arrogance that attaches to them, the idea that they are the majority of the people in the country, and that even if they're not, they're going to force everybody to accept what they want. This is the thing to learn. If they're willing to do this to their own members, if they're willing to threaten and bully their own members, then what the hell are they going to do to you? An average, ordinary American who's not an official member of their club, elected Democrats in Washington. You don't even matter. If you stray off the legislation, they're going to come for you one way or another. A political party that is totally uninterested in the wishes and desires and hopes of most Americans is today's Democrat Party. They don't care what you want. They don't care what your dreams are. They don't care what your fears are. They don't care what your beliefs or thoughts, be it religious or social. They don't care. All that matters is that they will dominate and they will win, no matter what they have to do. You do not count. This is a political party. Most people think that political parties are out there trying to do things to attract a majority of Americans to an agenda, to a set of ideas, to a set of objectives and goals. No, that's not today's Democrat Party. Today's Democrat Party doesn't care what you want. They don't care what you think. They don't care what your feelings are, unless you somehow demonstrate that you're with them. They want to use positions of power to bully people, to threaten people into accepting them. Everybody thinks politics is the other way around, that we are a country of, by, and for the people, and that the people's desires, thoughts, ideas are what determine what the political parties seek. No, not when you're talking about the modern era of the Democrat Party. Nancy Pelosi at war with moderate Democrats. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is at war with free markets. She is at war essentially with free choice. Ilhan Omar is at war with Jews, as is Rashida Tlaib. All of these people are obsessed with race. They are obsessed with abortion. They are obsessed with an agenda that they realize must be forced on everybody in order for it to become real. They are fierce. They are intolerant. These women are the definition of feminazis. They are socialists. They are bigots, and they are in your face. Look what they did. Look what this Tlaib babe did to Mark Meadows. She is continuing, by the way, to defend her rhetoric. She is defending calling Mark Meadows a racist during the Cohen hearing. She said it's a teachable moment. That's what she said when she was caught calling the president an MFer. Well, you can't get on. It was a teachable moment. I was simply trying to teach people what's at stake here. She doesn't understand what the phrase teachable moment means, and she's not interested in teaching anybody anything. That would require persuading them. There's no persuasion going on here. There is simple forced acceptance. Rashida Tlaib on Thursday defended her behavior at a congressional hearing the day before, during which she suggested the actions of a Republican colleague were racist. But then she denied she called him a racist. It's a teachable moment, she told CNN. She stood by her comments and her apology. She said that she again apologized. If it made him feel like I was calling him a racist, I apologize for that. If I wanted to call him a racist, everybody knows this, I'm pretty direct, I would have done that. Well, she did. Lynn Patton, who is number 2, Housing Urban Development, one of Trump's appointees, was invited to stand behind Mark Meadows, sit behind him during the hearing. She's African-American. She's being called by the Reverend Sharpton a prop. She was standing there as a prop, not allowed to speak. Well, nobody's allowed to speak in one of these hearings except the witness and members of Congress who are on the committee. Sharpton said, to be in the room where you know you're not going to be sworn in, you can't speak, you can't even get to a microphone, you're nothing but a prop. She couldn't testify. She's standing there as a prop that was not allowed to speak. I don't care. Most Americans do not think like this. These people are in the process here of, I think they are imploding right in front of our eyes, and what's making it possible is a supportive media who thinks televising these people and amplifying these people is going to help everybody, because again, they're all under a phony and false illusion, and that illusion is that they represent the majority of thinking in the country.
They're not going to get anywhere over there with the Democrats if they're going to get primaried out by OAC. Why don't we court them and bring them over to the Republican side? I mean, that'll get their hair on fire over there.
Why don't we go get these 26 Democrats and persuade them to become Republicans?
Yeah, pull them on over. Pull them on over. See if we can get even a few of them.
Well, I don't think that's not an immediate solution to the anomaly here. These people got elected as Democrats. They come from Democrat districts. And that's the only reason they got elected, is because they're Democrats. To convert them to Republicans, it's enough that they're voting with Republicans. I mean, that's as much as we can expect right now. To get them to convert to Republicans is way off down the line, and that is no immediate value. The thing to look out for is Pelosi. She has faced insurrections in the past. The last time the Democrats ran the House, there were 40 Blue Dog Democrats. She ran them all out. She ran them all out. She was even willing to risk losing the majority to get rid of them, folks. They do not tolerate insurrection. They don't tolerate anybody off the reservation. There is no big tent, if you will. There is a litmus test, and if you fail it, you're out. There's no room for anybody in that party who is pro Second Amendment. There's no room for anybody in that party who's pro life. There is no room anywhere in that party for anybody who would ever even think about saying a nice thing about a Republican or voting with one. And she's going to try to get rid of these people. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. They already think they've won the White House. It's just a matter of time, and some of them actually believe they're going to get rid of Trump before 2020. They literally believe this. I don't know how many, but a lot of them do. And I'll guarantee you one of them is pencil neck Schiff. Some of these people think it's just like Hillary was a guaranteed landslide winner, so is the idea that Trump is not going to serve out his term. They are feeling as though that's the confidence they're running around with. And they've got themselves convinced that most people see Trump the way they do. And that's why this insurrection in the party is simply unacceptable. It will not be tolerated. So that's the thing to keep an eye on is how she deals with the insurrection, and for everybody else to notice it. Jimmy in Brooklyn, you're next. Great to have you. Open Line Friday. Hello, sir.